Retired four-star General Jack Keane joins me now here in New York City. General, Israel's objective is to restore its border with Lebanon and security at that border. Have I got that right?
No, you got it absolutely right. Otherwise, Hezbollah is redefining the Israeli border, and there's 70,000 people who have been displaced on the Israeli side of the border as a result of it. What they want, two things from Hezbollah. One, stop firing across the border. And number two, pull all of your troops, your artillery, your mortars across the Litani River out of range so that the people there are no longer threatened. Those are the two things that they're seeking.
Can it do that without a ground invasion?
Yeah, I think what's happening here, the context is the Israelis are trying to demonstrate to Nasrallah, who's the head of Hezbollah, that this is not 2006, when the Israelis invaded on the ground and in the air. 37 days later, they did not accomplish their objectives, and they withdrew, and all the service chiefs were fired as a result of it. 18 years later, they're showing Nasrallah and Hezbollah how exquisite their intelligence is, that they're killing their top leaders. And they just blew up the Ramadan organization in Beirut. It's their special ops most elite unit. They killed all of their tactical leaders. We all just witnessed last week the pagers and the walkie-talkie attacks. Exquisite intelligence and execution. They are telling Nasrallah, this is going to only be worse for you if you don't stop what you're doing. And then the signal that the war has really begun would be the ground invasion.
Okay. I'll change gears for a second. In Ukraine, the Russian military, in one day, we hear, lost 22 tanks, 52 armored vehicles, and 1,500 troops. That comes as Zelenskyy, Ukraine's president. He's going to the White House on Thursday. He wants America to loosen restrictions on long-range weapons, which should hit inside Russia. You had a conversation with Zelenskyy. What can you tell me about it?
Yeah, well, first of all, I did have a conversation last night with his foreign minister and also with President Zelenskyy. And I focused on this issue. And I've just flat told him what I know. I said, the reasons the Biden administration are providing you for not giving you the authority to use their weapons, they're not reasons. They're excuses. And the excuses aren't even accurate. For example, they are telling Zelenskyy and his people that most of the Russian targets that we would use those weapons against have been removed from the area. False. We have a map at the Institute for the Study of War, and Zelenskyy and his people have it. It shows 245 targets, Russian concentrated troop targets, bases, within range of the ATACMS missiles. 16 of them are air bases where they're rotating the Zu-34s to deliver the glide bombs that are being so devastating on the Ukrainians. That's the facts of the case. And my advice to the foreign minister and the President Zelenskyy was to be firm and tough on this issue. He has every right. And listen, they can still defeat these Russians. They can still drive much of them out of the territory. You just gave an example of how devastating the Russian losses were in a single day. They are not 10 foot tall at all. And the Ukrainians have will and they have determination. We just have to continue to support them.
I know it's speculation, but do you think that Biden-Harris team would allow use of those long-range weapons? Do you think they'll do it?
I told them the real reason that they're not stating it is the fear of Russian escalation.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and the foreign ministers, when I told him that, he said, what do you mean? Of course, there is no Russian escalation. You gave us tanks, no escalation. You gave us long-range missile systems, no escalation. You gave us F-16s, no escalation. Why? Why don't you give us permission to do this? I mean, it's a rhetorical question. He knew I was supporting it.
Right in the middle of it, General Jack Keane. Thank you very much, sir.
Great being here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.